अन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। Hare Krishna, welcome back to the beginning of Ayodhya Kanda. Ayodhya Kanda starts with a very amazing verse, and that sort of sets the tone for the entire Kanda. It shows us, or Valmiki is showing us, certain important features of bhakti. And it is all in one or two words. It's in the first verse of Ayodhya Kanda. So it starts with Gacchata Matula Kulam Bharaten Tata Anagha Shatrugno Nitya Shatrugna Neetaha Priti Puraskrutaha. Word by word, Gacchata, as he left, Matula Kulam, to the house of his maternal uncle, Bharatena Tadanagha. Bharatena, Bharata went to his maternal uncle's home because he was invited by Yudhajit. Tadha Anagha, along with him went the sinless one, and that is Shatrugna, whose characteristic is Nitya Shatrugna, that he has eternally conquered enemies. Neetaha, took away or took along Priti Puraskrutaha, by keeping Bharata ahead of him. Shatrugna followed him. Puraskruta means standing in front or keeping one ahead of. So the key word in this verse is Neetaha. Neeta means to take with or take along. It is like how you are going to work or you're going to a store for grocery shopping, and you carry your grocery bag or you carry your briefcase. You take along with you. And this word Nita also shows up in Sundarakanda's very first verse. Tato Ravana Nitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshana. Just the way Ravana took away Sita, Hanuman was trying to find where Ravana had taken her away. And the Acharyas comment that the word Nitaha indicates Shatrugna's characteristic of who he is and what he shows us in the process of bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Yataha Anvayad Itarataschartheshu Abhigya Swarat. Swarat means supremely independent. And so another word for that is Swatantra. Swatantrata, as we say, independence. Swatantra. Tantra means the movements, physical movements. Swatantra means I decide my own movements. So only the Supreme Lord is Swatantra. All of us, all other living entities in this material realm are not Swatantra. We are called Paratantra. We are guided by, all our movements are guided by some other being. Ideally the Supreme Personality, but there are other beings as well. So we have individuality and we have free will, minute free will. And that minute free will, depending upon what kind of body it is in, can or cannot exert its full extent of individuality. So the Ramayana, with these four personalities, Lord Ramachandra signifies this Swatantra nature. Bharata, Lakshmana, let's take Lakshmana. Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrugna, all three are within the Paratantra categories. Although by nature they are the supreme absolute truth, they exhibit Paratantra to teach us. So Lakshmana shows how one should conduct one's devotional service with the Supreme Lord as his master, such that as if Lakshmana has no independence. So when we say no independence, then we'll have questions. So do we really don't have any independence? So let me rephrase it in a way that we are familiar. Lakshmana chooses to repose his free will under the rule or word of Lord Ramachandra. So he chooses to make Lord Ramachandra's desire, gesture, order his own will. Bharata shows us who a Mahabhagavata looks like, or who a Mahabhagavata is. And Shatrugna shows Paratantra towards a Mahabhagavata. So this Paratantra is necessary because that is the crux or the main feature of bhakti, where an individual says, my dear Lord, you are my master and I am your servant. So this entire philosophical point is very nicely encoded into this one verse. And in this one verse, this one word has it, Nitaha. And so it's a glorification of Shatrugna, that Bharata took Shatrugna with him as if he was a piece of luggage. Gacchata Mahatula Kulam. Bharatena Tadha Anagha. So Shatrugna's qualities are described as Anagha, which we hear Krishna speaking to Arjuna also, Maya Anagha. Anagha is free of any sinful tendency or sinful activity. That's one. And second, Nitya Shatrugna. Now, until this time, we never hear about Shatrugna. But he has already got the title Nitya Shatrugna. And that who has all conquered his enemies eternally. Which means that this indicates the internal enemies. Lust, greed, envy, pride, madness, illusion, etc. He has conquered. And those are the qualities. Sense control and a life free of sinful behavior or tendency. Such a person can be a perfect Bhagavata Tantra, a servant of the servant of the devotee. So from a story perspective, this is what happened. After Lord Ramachandra, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna came back, and the four wives also came back. They lived very, very happily. The whole family was delighted to be together. And Yudhajit, who had also visited Dasharath Maharaj. Yudhajit was the brother-in-law of Dasharath Maharaj, or the son of Maharaj of Kekaya, Kaikeyi's brother. So when Yudhajit came and spent some time in Dasharatha's hospitality, he then told Bharata, your grandfather wants to see you, come along. And Bharata happily went to see his grandfather, and he took Shatrughna with him. Although K.K. Maharaj is not Shatrughna's grandfather per se. But Bharata and Shatrughna could never be separated from each other. They always were together. Wherever Bharata went, Shatrughna followed. So that's how the Ayodhya Kanda starts, Gacchata Matula Kulam. Now, this is an important feature as well, because then the question will be, why would Ayodhya Kanda start with a very simple statement? Bharata and Shatrughna went to Bharata's grandfather's house. It has no sort of relevance per se, as if it is such an important event. It is an important event in this, that Bharata and Shatrughna are both not in the scene from whatever develops from here on. And what's going to develop from here on is very, very critical for the manifestation of Ramayana. And if Bharata and Shatrughna are there, this would never happen. Lord Ramachandra would never go to the forest. So it's important that we know that Bharata and Shatrughna are in Kekaya province. So while that is the case, in the first chapter itself of Ayodhya Kanda, in the 7th verse, Dasharath Maharaj is, or Valmiki Muni, is giving us an indication of how Dasharath Maharaj is feeling in the presence of Lord Ramachandra, freely walking around, talking, interacting with him and everyone else in the kingdom. And this is one place where Valmiki very clearly indicates that Lord Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And later in Uttarakanda it comes again, but in between it is almost never spoken. And Lord Ramachandra is very much treated as if he was a human being. But here is where he already lets it out for us to remember. This is the 7th verse of the first chapter, where he says, Sahi Devai Rudirnasya Ravanasya Vadarthabihi Arthito Manushe Loke Jagye Vishnu Sanatanaha. That Jagye means through the Yagya, Vishnu, the Supreme Eternal Sanatana Lord, manifested in Dasharatha's home on the behest or the request of the Devatas. Devair Rudiranasya. The Devatas requested. So this is the Supreme who is now living and behaving as if he is Dasharatha's son. So Dasharath Maharaj, who has been a king for 60,000 years now, it said that this is in Kalidasa's Raghuvamsha, that one day Dasharath Maharaj was looking in the mirror and he noticed that his sideburns had become gray after 60,000 years. And when he noticed those sideburns had become gray, it was as if, because Kalidas is a great poet, He says, it was as if those gray hair were speaking or whispering into Dasharat Maharaj's ear. Time has come for you to now step down and make Lord Ramachandra the king. Or in other words, old age was whispering into Dasharat Maharaj's ears that it's time for you to step down. So Dasharat Maharaj considers, well, the most fitting prince is my Ramachandra. And the reason he is the most fitting, and this is a whole set of verses that are fantastic meditation by Dasharat Maharaj about his son Ramachandra. So what I thought we'll do today is, Ram Navami is coming up in a few days. In preparation of Sri Ram Navami, these are Dasharat Maharaj's pure devotees meditation on the qualities of Lord Ramachandra. Of course, form is there, qualities are there, the holy name, of course, is already there. But these are some qualities which I thought, first, they're inspiring to me. So obviously, that's what I'm sharing. But these are relevant for us as practicing devotees, relevant to meditate on these qualities. Maybe to emulate them, at least for me, is difficult, if not impossible, perhaps even impossible, but definitely a good meditation, because when we meditate on these qualities empower us to consider acting in a similar way. That's why. So here are some meditation. I'm going to speak a few verses. I will try to explain and I guess be inspired by Dasharat Maharaj's meditation. In Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Devotion, one of the features of Ragatmika Bhakti is that a devotee, an aspiring devotee, takes another advanced devotee as a role model and follows in their footsteps, serves them, appreciates them, and regards them as the person through whom they will develop a similar regard for the Lord. So here we are taking Dasharat Maharaj as an example, as a personality who has this very deep contemplation about Lord Ramachandra. So we're going to see what that contemplation is. So in the first chapter itself, there are a whole bunch of verses. I picked a few which are very interesting to me. So the 11th verse says, Kathanchit upakarena kritena ekena tushyati nasma nasmaratya apakaranam shatamapi atmavattaya. This is a quality of Lord Ramachandra that says, Kathanchit upakarena kritena ekena tushyati. If anybody does even one act of goodness or benevolence or beneficial to Ramachandra, even one act, then through, he says, Kritena tushyati. Lord Ramachandra becomes filled with gratitude in his heart, even with one gesture of a person that is favorable to him, even one favorable gesture. And on the other hand, nasmaratya apakaranam. Upakara and apakara, kara means to do, upakara means to do a favor, and apakara means to do something against favor or unfavorably. So Lord Ramachandra, na smaratya apakaranam shatamapi. Even if there are hundreds of acts of disfavor towards Lord Ramachandra, na smaratya. He will not remember them. That is his large-heartedness. We call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahavadanyaya. By nature, Lord Ramachandra is such. that he remembers with gratitude and happiness, even one gesture of favor done to him. So then what to speak of how he would feel for someone who's trying every day to act favorably towards him. So that's one meditation. I'll say the verse again just because it's very sweet for me. Katanchit upakarena kritenekena tushyati nasmaratya apakaranam shatamapya atmavattaya. So I'm going to jump to the second chapter, because there, once Dasharath Maharaj has said that I want to make my son the prince regent, there is a reaction from all the other kings and sages and ministers, which will come to in a few minutes. And in response, they say something about Lord Ramachandra, which again is a set of my favorite verses. And they say, Vyasaneshu manushyanam bhrusham bhavati dukkhitaha utsaveshu cha sarveshu piteva paritushyati. So this is how Lord Ramachandra feels towards us. Okay. Vyasaneshu, when there is cause for distress in a person's life. Vyasaneshu. Vyasana means distress or difficulty. Vyasaneshu manushyanam bhrisham bhavati dukkhitaha. So when somebody is feeling sad or unhappy, Lord Ramachandra feels a lot more unhappy for that person. Or Lord Ramachandra experiences a lot more unhappiness than the person himself who's experiencing unhappiness. That is his nature of compassion and empathy. But what if someone is feeling happy? It says, Utsaveshu cha sarveshu. When someone is happy, then Lord Ramachandra treats it as a festival. He celebrates. Utsaveshu cha sarveshu piteva paritushyati. He becomes as happy as a father would be when a child is happy and celebrating. This is the heart of Lord Ramachandra. We're getting a little glimpse. Of course, I may not do the best job at it, but these are some very amazing meditations on Lord Ramachandra. Sometimes we wonder, if I'm going through some distress, does it move the Lord's heart at all? Or are my worries and concerns or difficulty even touching him? And then this is the verse for us to give great solace to the heart. Vyasaneshu manushyanam bhrusham bhavati dukkhitaha utsaveshu cha sarveshu piteva paritushyati. Then the next verse they say is Satyavadi maheshvaso vruddha sevi jitendriyaha Smitapurva bhibhashi cha dharmam sarvatmana shritaha. Sarvatmana shritaha. So here are some qualities of Lord Ramachandra. Satyavadi. He will always, always, always speak the truth and stand by truth. However difficult the consequences may be, however uncomfortable the situation may be, he will not budge from truth. So Satyavadi, he will always speak the truth. Maheshvasa, as he along speaks the truth, he carries this very great bow with him. And that bow is the sign that he will protect anyone who's also a Satyavadi. Sometimes we are scared, oh, if I'm truthful, will I have some loss, or will it benefit me completely? What if I am, because if I have to speak the truth, I become very vulnerable. Then Maheshvasa, Lord Ramachandra is standing with a bow right behind us, protecting us. Vriddha Sevi, he is very eager to serve those he thinks are senior to him. Vriddha Sevi, which I'm going to come to a verse which shows us who's senior to us, and what is Lord Ramachandra's consideration of who's senior to him. Is there anyone senior to Lord Ramachandra? No. But from his side, This is how he sees who is senior to him. It's coming up. Jitendriya. He is completely sense controlled in his mind, in his words, and in his behavior. Then Smitapurva Vibhashi. Smitapurva Abhibhashi. Abhibhashi means one who speaks to someone and says hello or greets someone. Purva Abhibhashi means he's the first to greet someone. So when we're in a room or a gathering and you see someone else, many times or often it may be a possibility that we wait for someone else to say Haribol to us first. Because being acknowledged is a sign of feeling important. But if you acknowledge someone else, then it's lower, it's diminutive. So Purva Abhibhashita means Lord Ramachandra would not wait for someone else to greet him. He would greet them first. There was no, oh, I am the supreme or I'm very great prince. They should say hello to me first. Why should I say to them? No such consideration. And how would he do it? Smita, with a smile on his face. Smita Purva Abhibhashita. And Dharmam Sarvatmana Ashritaha. He has Ashrita, he has taken shelter, Sarvatmana, completely. Sarvatmana, Atma has three meanings. The body is called Atma, the mind is called Atma, and Atma itself, of course, is Atma. So Sarvatmana means by all three, body, mind, and words, if you will. Sarvatmana Dharmam Ashritaha. So his dharma is not just that he speaks about it and doesn't follow. Or he speaks and does it but doesn't feel like it. All three, when they are aligned, then a person is said to be in integrity. Okay. Generally, when we're not in integrity or someone is not in integrity means they may say something, but they don't feel it. Or they may say and do and still not feel it. But in integrity means I say and do properly as I feel. Of course, if I tell someone to shut up and I say I'm in integrity because I told you to shut up, sure, that is true. But we're talking about behaving properly, well-behaved personality. So he feels sense of affection for others, he shows it and he speaks it. Smita Purva Abhibhashita. Then back to first chapter, where we said here, Vriddha Sevi, Dasharath Maharaj is contemplating how is he showing respect to elder persons or seniors. And this is how Lord Ramachandra considers someone senior. Sheela Vriddhai, Jnana Vriddhai, Vayo Vriddhaischa Sajjanaihi. So the great sages and Sajjana, the Sat Janas, he considers that they are in three categories or all three types. Sheela Vriddhai means senior by qualities or senior by moral position. Doctors, teachers, judges, etc. Of course, don't take a Kali Yuga perspective, but in general, Sheela Vriddha means they have certain positions and certain authority and qualities in this world by which naturally they are respectable. Sheela Vriddha. Next is Jnana Vriddha, someone who has knowledge. All the great Brahmanas, anyone who has knowledge, although they may be younger than us, if they have greater knowledge than us, then they are seniors. And third is Vayo Vriddha, one who's older in age. So they're in this order because there is a hierarchy. Sometimes there are persons who are older than us, but they may not be behaving in a way that that is according to their age. Sometimes parents, sometimes some seniors, older persons don't behave the way they're supposed to. So that's why seniority by age is third in order. Then the second in order is seniority by knowledge. So one may consider, but knowledge is a good thing. True, knowledge is good, but it also has to be demonstrated. It also has to be lived by. Not just I have knowledge, but that knowledge doesn't shine forth in qualities. Therefore, Shila Vriddhi first is seniority by qualities, seniority by realizations, and by example. When Shukadev Goswami arrives at the assembly of all the sages and Parikshit Maharaj is there, all the other sages are Jnana Vriddha. They're all senior to him by knowledge per se. But they stand up and they receive Shukadev Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj is the king. He too stands up and receives Shukadev Goswami because Shukadev Goswami is Shila Vriddha, 16 years old, but senior by who he is and the realizations that he is carrying with him. And it is evident because as he walks in, the great sages understand, oh, here is a very, very great person who has arrived. And they all stand up in with awe and respect to receive Shukadev Goswami. So these are the qualities of Lord Ramachandra. The next line of the verse, Kathayan nastavai, Kathayan na asta vai nitya mastra yoga yogyantareshvapi. Sorry. Kathayan nastva. He would go and hear from all the great sages, even while nityam astra yogantareshu, as he was learning how to fire weapons, astra yoga, he's learning warfare. So on one hand, he's having these martial art classes, and when the teacher says, okay, we're on a break, he would immediately run, sit down with the great sages and hear from them. How do we know it's during recess time? Is the word antareshvapi. Antareshu means time between two actions. It's called antara. Antareshvapi. As soon as there would be a break, he would run and go hear from the sages. So both qualities are there. There is strength by learning martial arts, and then there is wisdom. Usually when there is one, the other may not be there. That is why they say that people with huge muscles and big bodies may not be too bright on the top floor. And those who are bright on the top floor, their body may not necessarily always be very strong. In this case, Lord Ramachandra was expert in martial arts and expert in knowledge because he would eagerly hear from great persons. Now, why is this relevant to us? It's relevant because we live in a society where there are such persons. There are persons who are senior to us by realizations, senior to us by position, senior to us by knowledge, and senior to us by age. And this is part of Amanina Manadena. It all connects back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, and therefore I'm talking about these verses. Is this teaching that Chaitanya, or I shouldn't say teaching, this order that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us, Amanina Manadena. This Manadena, Lord Ramachandra is showing us how he would be, how he would defer to these persons as his senior. Then the next verse, here are more qualities. Buddhiman, Madhura Bhashi, Purva Bhashi Priyam Vadaha, Viryavan, Cha Viryena Mahata, Svena Vismita. Oh, Viryavan, Nacha Viryena Mahata, Svena Vismita. I'll break it down again. Buddhiman. Buddhiman means intelligent. But Buddhiman means a lot more than just intelligent, because intelligence is, oh, I can compute certain things very quickly, or I can discern certain patterns quickly, or I can, I have a very quick deductive capability, or I can infer things very quickly. That's a sign of intelligence for any person. But Buddhiman goes beyond that. Buddhiman means in any difficult circumstance or any circumstance of life, how best can I apply the teachings that I have received from my teachers? Lord, this is Ramchandra's consideration. How best can I apply them in my life such that all those teachings will manifest as realizations in my heart? This application, how to apply which principle at what time, in what circumstance, according to, as we say, desha, kala, patra, time, place, and person or circumstance, is a very, very difficult science. It is also an art. And one who can do so, such a person is called Buddhiman. So Buddhiman and Madhura Bhashi. Lord Ramachandra's speech is always sweet. Madhura Bhashi. He never speaks something that feels bitter or distasteful. Whatever he speaks is just nectar. And Purva Bhashi, again, he's the one who happily greets everyone. Priyam Vadaha. And whatever he speaks, although sweet to hear, is also a delight for the heart. There are certain words that are pleasing to the ear, but may not be delightful to the heart. For example, mantra is coming up. She speaks something for Kaikeyi that is sweet to hear, but it's not a delight for the heart. Although momentarily Kaikeyi may feel delighted, but the amount of pain and agony she and everyone around her have to go through. So Madhura Bhashi and Priyam Vada, both are necessary. Then Viryavan. We just saw recently, Viryavan was able to break Lord Shiva's bow. Viryavan, at the same time, Nacha Viryena Mahata Svena Vismita. But he never ever considers himself so great, and he never even talks about his greatness in the assembly of others. Mode of passion is such that it is so ingrained that in a group setting or with others, the tendency to one-up each other is very strong. When someone says something, others also feel pulled to say, oh no, I also know this fact, I also heard that fact, and we want to add new bits of jnana into the conversation such that the heads will turn towards me. Oh, he knows so much. That is the mahata. Oh, I am great. But Lord Ramachandra is such that even if he is Viryavan, Nacha Viryena Mahata, Svena Vismita, he doesn't even consider himself great at all. Even when he broke the bow of Lord Shiva, he didn't look around and say, he only considered himself that my spiritual master gave me the order, Vatsa Rama Dhanur Pashya, I did what he ordered me to do. He always considered himself as a servant of his father or superior and his spiritual master. So Dasharath Maharaj, there are many other verses. These are some nice ones. So here's what Dasharath Maharaj does. Dasharath, one of his characteristics is he's very quick to make up his mind without fully thinking about all the things that will happen. So one commentator says he is quick to decide and takes a whole lot of time to lament. Hastily decides. So in this case, he hastily decides that let's do Lord Ramachandra's coronation ASAP. And he does not invite two persons. He does not invite the father of Kaikeyi, Kekaraja, and he does not invite Janaka Maharaj. This is the verse in the first chapter, verse 48. Natu Kekaya Rajanam Janakam va Naradhipaha. Tvaraya, very quickly he decided. Chanaya Masaha Pashyanto Shoshayataha Priyam. Let me just quickly coronate Lord Ramachandra, As far as Kekaya Maharaj and Janaka Maharaj, they will anyway hear about this wonderful news and they'll be happy. So I don't need to invite them right now. Now one may wonder why he didn't invite Kekaya Raja. As the story unfolds, there are two reasons. If Kaikeyi's father would have been there, then Bharat and Shatrugna would also be there. And they're not to be in the scene at this point, because if they were there, they would have heard Dasharath Maharaj proclaiming Ramachandra as king. So Bharata would never take on the throne. So they're not on the scene. Second, Kekaya Raja, if he had heard Ramachandra being proclaimed as king, could technically object. Because previously, when Dasharath Maharaj wanted to marry Kaikeyi, in his infatuation to Kaikeyi, Dasharath Maharaj promised that the son from Kaikeyi would be the king. Now the question is, why did he promise like that? He had Kausalya, he had Sumitra, and 364 other wives, or 365 other wives, but there was no progeny for a very long time. And then when he fell in love with Kaikeyi, Kekaya Maharaj said, well, if you'd marry my daughter, what about the son that will be born to her? And Dasharath Maharaj said, well, I don't have sons from any other wife, but if this wife gives birth, then naturally he'll be the king. So he said, there's no question if Kaikeyi has the child, naturally that child will be the king. So now if he's going to proclaim Ramachandra as Prince Regent, Kekaya Maharaj can say, well, hold on a second, you said something else. But this was so long ago that Dasharath Maharaj, it drifted to the back of his mind and he didn't want to face the situation. His love for Lord Ramachandra was very, very intense. So the commentary is that the demigods arranged the circumstance such, or we call it providential arrangement. Here's a providential arrangement from Bhagavad Gita. Karmana daivanetrena jantur abhipadyate. Jantu, I mean Janata, is generally guided by, in their life, daivanetrena, by the providential vision or oversight. So these demigods or providence prohibited Dasharath Maharaj from inviting the king of Kekaya province and Janaka. Because if Janaka would be there, he would say, hold on a second, Sita cannot go to the forest. Sita has to come back home with me. For 14 years, I will take care of her. There is no way she's going to go to the forest. But if Sita does not go to the forest, Ravana cannot be annihilated. So Janaka and Kekaya both were not on the scene. Okay. So Dasharath Maharaj sits down with his kings and all of his ministers and all the great sages, and he tells them, I have sat under this white umbrella for 60,000 years, and I've taken care of all my citizens in a wonderful way. There is never any distress to any citizen ever in 60,000 years, no problems. Everything was being governed so well. But now I'm tired. I'm tired of being a king. I'm tired of taking on this responsibility on my shoulder for 60,000 years. And I think it's time for me to retire. And therefore, I'm thinking of crowning Lord Ramachandra as Prince Regent. What do you think? I would like to hear, although he knew they will not say no, he wanted to hear from them. So he said, what do you think? And to his surprise, the entire assembly of kings, ministers, sages clapped so loudly and stood up and cheered with such enthusiasm that the entire earth shook by that reverberation. So Dasharath Maharaj had his mixed feelings. On one hand, he's very happy that they are accepting Lord Ramachandra. It is his nomination. They're accepting. At the same time, he has this, man, are you waiting for me to get out for such a long time? Is that what's going on? So one of the commentators, an Acharya, narrates a joke, which I'm telling you. What this mixed feelings is according to him, what it feels like. So a man has a very new shiny car that he has purchased. And his mother-in-law wants to drive it. So he's standing here watching his mother-in-law drive the car, and she's gone uphill and her driving skills are not so good. So the car is almost at the verge of being in an accident or where the mother-in-law could either get hurt or something will happen to her. So the son-in-law has mixed feelings. On the one hand, he's secretly delighted that something will happen to his mother-in-law because she's such a nagging person. And at the same time, he is very sad about what will happen to his car. These are the mixed feelings. So Dasharath had mixed feelings. Man, I'm very happy that they're agreeing for Lord Ramachandra, who I also love. But I didn't realize that they would very quickly clap and say, oh, very good, step out and let Ramachandra be the king. Sadhu, sadhu. Exactly. That is what they did. Okay. So that's where chapter 2 of Ayodhya Kanda ends. Actually, when the sages and ministers, Dasharath Maharaj says, I want to hear from you why you consider Ramachandra being a fit candidate. There are 30-40 verses of glorification of Lord Ramachandra, 2 of which I narrated to you today. If I go through verse by verse, which is a super meditation, we would never get done. But they speak a whole list of qualities of Lord Ramachandra, in addition to, or not necessarily covering all the qualities that Dasharath Maharaj was thinking about. So I wanted to end a little early and open for some discussion, because I feel that in the past few times, I've gone all the way to 11 o'clock and then sort of feels a little rushed for any questions, etc. So any questions, thoughts, comments, clarifications, you have any doubts, you want to add anything, a meditation you have, please, this would be the time. We'll spend some time in discussion, and then we'll end with a meditation on Sita and Ramachandra, Sita Devi and Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sadhu, sadhu. Prabhu, the background scene is so wonderful. You can see.
Thank you.
Very wonderful.
Thank you.
No question.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. This is
Hare
Radha.
Krishna, Radha, I'm waiting for the question beginning with why did.
So when Ravana took away Sita and she was in Lanka and the fight almost began, Ram told, or maybe later I think, Ram told Ravana to give back Sita when they both were fighting. And I don't think Ravana thought it would be sweet voice, because I'm talking about the soft, sweet voice that she talked about. One of the qualities of Rama. So did Ravana think it was sweet?
Priyam Vada is delight to the heart, means truth spoken in such a way that is good for the person hearing it. Now, sometimes medicine, although good for the person, may taste bitter. But it also depends on Ravana's disposition. However sweet spoken Lord Ramachandra is, for Ravana, because his disposition to Lord Ramachandra is unfavorable, it didn't sound sweet. So in Nectar of Devotion, we hear Seva Unmukha is necessary, that one should have a disposition of service. Or according to Rupa Goswami, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. These are necessary to appreciate the qualities of Lord Ramachandra. If one is not devotionally inclined or even piously inclined, even the beautiful deities of Lord Ramachandra or Radha Krishna, Kishore Kishori, one may only look at them as stone statues and say, "Oh, okay, they are nice dolls," or they're just dolls. So what's important is the disposition of heart is important.
I have another question.
Waiting.
So, yeah. Why did
Why did?
why did Dasaratha have to make a promise? Could he just say that he will make Bharata as the king? And did he know that Bharata know that Ram was, he liked Ram?
What was the last one? Did he know?
Did Dasharatha know that Bharata liked Ram?
Did Dasaratha know that Bharata liked Ram?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Very evident. The brothers were inseparable from each other. They loved each other very, very much. And that is what Bharata will also say when he comes back and he hears how much havoc Kaikeyi has created and how henpecked Dasaratha became, that he could not stand up. Of course, there are two perspectives. One, he was henpecked. Second, he had to stand by his word, a promise that he made to Kaikeyi. Now, the promise that he made to KK Raja also has to become truthful somehow or the other. And that is how it all manifests. Now, why did he not do this? Why could he? Well, there is a saying in English called hindsight is 2020. When we are in a situation and we don't consider, or we may not be able to consider all the consequences and what the outcomes might be, we let some time pass. After the experience, we can look back and we analyze and we say, I could have said like this, I should have done like that. But that wisdom is good so that next time we don't do something silly. But what's in the past cannot be corrected. That's why they say hindsight is 2020, because 2020 vision means one can see, one has very good peripheral vision. One can see everything that is in front of them, on the sides as well. So they have a full picture. But who don't have 2020 vision, then their eyesight becomes narrow, their vision becomes narrow. But after the situation has occurred, you have so much insight on what all happened and you didn't consider. So Dasaratha, in one sense, from a teaching perspective, although he's a pure devotee, from a teaching perspective, Dasaratha is a person from whom we learn to pause before making big decisions and to consider certain things carefully before jumping in and just giving word.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, was there a particular reason why an invitation was not sent to Janaka Maharaj?
Yeah, I just said the reason is the demigods influenced Dasarath Maharaj to not invite Janaka, because if Janaka were there, then he would testify that Ramachandra was proclaimed as king. And how can Dasarath Maharaj change his word? And then if Ramachandra has to go to forest, although Sita was not asked to go to the forest, Kaikeyi never said Sita should go. But Sita Devi wanted to go. And Dasarath Maharaj would not allow that. Then there would be a whole family drama. So both Kaikeyi Maharaj and Janaka were not there. Because if they were there, the whole set of incidents would unfold differently.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You said when someone does one favorable act, Lord Ramachandra's heart is filled with gratitude for them. Elsewhere, we also hear that the Lord is not looking at what you give, but what you are holding back. So how to reconcile these two statements?
So give without holding back.
I wish I could.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could too. But it is not just giving, meaning giving. It is said upakara. Upakara has intent also in it. And it does not mean that I do one favor and I am hesitating to do another favor. It means kathanchit upakarena kritena ekena. Even if one time one person gives, then he is very, very happy. It's the intent. Krishna or Lord Ramachandra are called bhavagrahi. They take the intent, may not take the object itself, may or may not. When Vidura's wife gave banana peel, the intent was to offer anything and everything that was possible to Lord Krishna. It was not intended, I want to give him banana peel, let's see if he eats it. That was not the intent. So bhavagrahi means takes the intention. But Duryodhana wanted to give all sorts of wealth and pompous invitation, reception, but he had something else in his heart. So the Lord was not attracted at all. This verse specifically speaks about Kritagnya, how gratitude manifests. That a person doesn't have to do a lot before they deserve our gratitude. Lord Ramachandra is a personality that even one gesture is enough for him to feel very grateful. That's what it means.
But at the same time, he also knows what we are holding back, right?
Yes.
It's not hidden from him.
Correct. He does.
And so he helps to surrender. He helps us to surrender ourselves to him fully.
So he doesn't grab what we are holding back. He is very grateful for what we are offering, but he doesn't grab what we are holding back. Because if he did, then we would become Ganesha devotees. You understand what I mean by that?
It will go to demigods because he's not giving.
Yeah, our fidelity to the Supreme Lord would be like, yeah, what is this? Let me go find someone else. So he's not dissatisfied that you did not give me, you're holding something back. He's very happy with what we are giving. But does not violate his ability to know, oh, okay, he's holding back some stuff. That's okay. Some devotees are texting questions in my screen. I can't see the text. So if you want to speak up, that's a lot easier for me.
Or else you want me to read, Prabhu, I can read.
Yeah, sure. Who's reading?
Paramatma Das.
Of course. Who else can voice the
Krishna.
voice of Paramatma? How is it possible?
Is there anything mentioned in Ramayana about
Because when Paramatma speaks, then that is Matta Sprutir Jnanam Apohanam Cha.
Hey Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Is there anything mentioned in Ramayana about the feelings of Janaka and Kaikeyi's father about Ram and Sita leaving for the forest?
Not that I'm aware of. The book is called Ramayana. The book is not the family feelings of everyone else involved. Ramayana means following the path of Lord Ramachandra. So as far as what happens on the periphery, Valmiki doesn't give us much. But just from the nature of human beings, we cannot assume that Janaka will be like, oh, it's okay, beti gayi hai forest, let her learn a few things. Previously he said, Iyam Sita Mama Suta. Mama Suta means I have taken care of her so lovingly. She is a princess. She has never set her foot on the ground. And whatever ground she sets her foot on, we make sure that it has so clean and pure and there are no thorns or aberration, nothing, just very, very beautiful Italian marble floors, gold filigree sofas and all of that. And now she has to go to the forest. You can imagine. When we hear, we are not related to Sita or Ramachandra. I'm not related, you all are. I'm not related. Just by hearing only, it's painful. We can fairly assume how Janaka feels.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Ajita.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that the qualities you're mentioning of Lord Ram should be, might be impossible, but at least we should try to inculcate those qualities. So when
and we don't focus so much on the impossible ones. Oh, I heard in class this is impossible, so let's not even try.
So the one thing that you mentioned about Lord Ram always taking the initiative to
go ahead, taking the initiative. Smita Purva Abhibhashi. Hey, Ajita. All right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
I can hear you now. Suddenly you had a feminine voice, but now it's okay.
No, it was me, Prabhu.
I know. I'm teasing Ajita. I always tease him.
Prabhuji, I was saying, so Lord Ramachandra, the fact that you said like he's the first to greet when he sees somebody rather than waiting for the others. And I was saying that I'm an introvert.
Smita Purva Abhibhashi. And what? You're an introvert.
So I generally don't do that. So is that like something an aspiring devotee we should try to follow? Is that a Vaishnava etiquette to, I mean, we see devotees or guests, we should be the one to reach out and greet them?
Is it a Vaishnava quality? I'm not sure.
Is that like an etiquette that's appreciated?
Is it an etiquette that's appreciated? More than etiquette that's appreciated, it's you can take it as an aspect of humility.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Here's the term, Smita Purva Abhibhashi.
All right, Prabhuji.
Jyotirmai.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So last week you ended the Balakanda with all the 4 brothers getting married and they come to Ayodhya. And today in the first verse you said like it's been mentioned Bharata and Shatrughna were sent to KKR, right?
Right.
So does that mean like immediately all this sending to forest and stuff happened right after the marriage, or?
So just for the sake of our narration, I ended there. But there are other verses that Dasharath Maharaj was looking at his children, his 4 sons, and the 4 daughters-in-law. He was delighted. All of them were very amazingly loving to each other and their wonderful exchanges. Then Yudhajit, who was there, invited Bharata to go to Kekaya. And when Bharata was leaving, Lord Ramachandra took on the service of serving all the 3 mothers very lovingly. And this way, Lord Ramachandra and Sita spent many seasons in each other's company, etc. So technically speaking, from the time they've been married to this verse, almost 12 years have passed.
Okay. So that comes in the Balakanda or the Ayodhya?
Yes, in Balakanda.
Okay. So the Ayodhya Kanda starts with what you started today, right?
Gachatam Matula Kulam. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a question that was Shurpanaka killed or not?
Shurpanaka was killed or not? I mean, Shurpanaka died later, but whether she was killed or not, I don't know.
Okay. Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, first of all, I wanted to thank you for this is very wonderful absorption around Ram Navami. So thank you very much. And second, I want to ask a question that it is in context with when you mentioned that Lord Ram, when he does something or he says something, he actually feels it. So of course, he is Lord, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in that context, I wanted to understand, like, we are also instructed to do certain, like cultivate certain qualities, like being humble or not being reactive or kind of these. But I don't think that I feel that way. And I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it sometimes. So like what's the science behind this? How does it work, and will it ever manifest as reality? What I feel I will do?
Well, in some cases it's good that you don't do what all you feel. That's why we hear the verse from Nectar of Devotion. Iha yasya harer dasye manasa karmana gira nikhilasvapi avasthashu jivan mukta sa uchyate. Iha yasya harer dasye, one who is actually Haridasa, or the servant of the Lord, but he has to be the sense of servitude has to be in manasa karmana gira, in one's mind or heart, in one's speech, and in one's actions. Such a person is called nikhilasvapi avasthashu, jivan mukta. Only then is a person generally liberated per se. So in all contexts, you will always hear these three coming together. Manasa karmana gira. Okay? There is a verse in Ramaraksha Stotra. It says, I recite it every day, but I can't remember right now. It somewhere near the end, it says, Manasa smarami, Sri Ramachandra charanau, Manasa smarami, Sri Ramachandra charanau, Shirasa namami, Sri Ramachandra charanau, Vachasa granami, Sri Ramachandra charanam, Sharanam prapadye. That I am accepting Lord Ramachandra's lotus feet with my mind, with my body, and my words. When all these three are aligned, a person is said to be truthful or in integrity, or a person is considered simple. And our journey to get there is, you start somewhere. So we start here with the body. We call it Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. In Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, I may not feel it, but I follow it because Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada and my spiritual master want me to become a pure person. So I follow. I may not like it. I don't feel like it. So that is from the body side. At least starts there. Then we say, this is nice. We tell others, no? And then we also feel it, or it becomes our nature. In our heart, we have some favorable feelings for the Lord beyond what's in it for me.
Mhm.
So will it happen? By sure it will happen. And when it happens to you, please bless us, so it will happen for us also.
It's a very wonderful explanation, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Mm.
Okay, anyone else?
Thank you very much for the explanation of Kekai Raj and Janak Maharaj not being there. That was thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhu, can you share those 2 verses or 3 verses which you said, Prabhu? Just repeat it.
The 2 verses, which one?
I just made some note. 1 second, Prabhu.
Vyasaneshu manushyanam brisham bhavati dukkitah. That one?
Yeah, Kanda-Ch1-2 upakarena.
Sure. Kathanchit upakarena kritenekena tushyati. Na smaratya apakaranam shatamapyattavatah. Shatamapyatmavatya. Sure. But I'm going to share 2 more meditations. If you have no more questions or any other thing, then I'll let you go with 1, 2 meditations on Ram Navami coming up.
Sure, Prabhu.
Any
Hare
questions,
Krishna,
comments? Yes.
thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing these wonderful verses describing Lord Ram's qualities. We hear that where attention goes, energy flows.
Yes.
So I hope by your association and hearing these verses, some qualities will develop.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. By Valmiki Maharishi's mercy, of course.
One quick question, Prabhuji. You mentioned by providential, Acharya's comment that by providential arrangements that happened. So I was wondering how come providential arrangements make arrangement for Lord's pastimes? Usually we hear that by Lord's arrangement things are happening, but here we are hearing that
Daivanetra, providence means the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord makes direct and indirect arrangements. Direct arrangements is when he personally is involved in moving things for the devotees, and indirect is through his Maya Shakti. The laws of nature will arrange certain things by karmic laws. And in his own case, it is his Leela Shaktis that do all the different manifestations for him. That is our philosophy.
So it was not demigods. So it was not demigods arrangement, right?
Well, the demigods are the instruments, but ultimately the Lord has promised, I will appear and I will relieve you of Ravana's atrocities. So when we say providence, we mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his arrangements.
Thank you.
See, Indra plays such a role in all of these things, right? But Indra is being guided by someone for the manifestation of the different pastimes of the Lord. So Indra is being guided. He's also being guided by providence. And he acts providentially. He's the instrument. Okay, any more questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please answer my obeisance, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you so much for your classes. It's really vibrating for all of us every week. We are very grateful to you, Prabhu. So my question is about Paradukka Dukhi, practical, like when I'm feeling that suffering like that, but not able to help in like struggling how to go and like help them like that. So can
You are, hold on a second, I need to sneeze and wash my hand and do all the precaution and come back. Okay, sorry about that. You feel like you want to practice or cultivate the para dukkha dukhi quality, but you're not able to? Is that the question? I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand what you're asking.
Sorry, Prabhu. Can I? Prabhu, about Paradukka Dukhi, when my question is like how we can help them, even knowing they are suffering like that, in what ways we can help, means how we can bring them in Krishna consciousness, or where we can start, like.
Well, first of all, none of us can bring anyone to Krishna consciousness. It is something that every individual has to voluntarily take. How we can be instruments of Krishna's mercy? It is said that by offering of prasadam, that's the easiest way that even the most arrogant person can become a recipient of mercy, because when you give prasadam, someone has to hold their hand like this. And this by nature is the symbol or gesture where they are putting themselves at a lower position. And that's when the mercy will flow. So if, without they knowing anything and we pouring down big philosophy, maybe the first step is just to give some prasadam. My spiritual master said, if you give prasadam to someone, then it is the first step in their becoming subservient. Without their knowing or without their wanting, they are becoming subservient and humble, even if it's at that moment, because that's the nature of prasadam. And then slowly, gradually, you can add other, I guess, teachings and examples. Does that help?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. What time is it, Vaika? It's 11:20. I'm going to skip the 2 verses of meditation on Sita Devi and Lord Ramachandra for Ram Navami, because I don't want to take your time. Very beautiful verses. Maybe next time we meet, I can.
Could you kindly do it for me?
Please, Prabhu.
Oh, we can do class on Ram Navami. Maharaj's class is there. We'll see. Afternoon and midnight for them. Okay, let's see. So this is in the Balakanda. I'll say it and then we can think about it. This is Balakanda, where Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi are in each other's company, and their love for each other is becoming like an overflowing ocean. An ocean never overflows its shores unless there is a tsunami. And you can think of it as their love is growing, and another poetic way is like milk that is boiling. It by that love, it's just floating to the brim of the container of their heart. So there are a few verses. I picked 2. First one, it says, Priya tu Sita Ramasya Dara Pitrukrita iti Gunad Rupa Gunachapi Pritir Bhuyo Abhyavardhataha. This is Lord Ramachandra's love for Sita Devi. Okay. First is Priya. She is extremely, extremely dear to him. Okay. Sita, who's very Priya, Ramasya Dara iti. Pitrukrita, Janaka or Dasharatha, either is fine, gave Sita Devi as the most cherished gift to Lord Ramachandra. He considers it like that. Oh, I am so fortunate that Sita has come into my life. And how is his love for her growing? Gunad, her qualities, her behavior, her charming presence, and Rupa Gunad Chapi. So 2, both her qualities and her rupa, her form, her beauty is par excellence. And by those two, Pritir Bhuyo Abhyavardhata. Vardhana means to grow. Abhyavardhana means to grow like anything. And Bhuyo Abhyavardhana, growing and growing and growing. Again and again. We say Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham. Again and again, I offer my obeisances to Lord Ramachandra. So, Pritir Bhuyo Abhyavardhata. Lord Ramachandra's love for Sita Devi, as she is manifesting by her qualities and beauty, is growing again and again and again, multifold. This is his love for her. And now her love for him. Taschascha bharta dvigunam hridaye parivartitaha. Whatever love Lord Ramachandra has for Sita Devi's love is at least twice that dviguna bharta. That, you know, young people, when they are in love with each other, they says, I love you. And she says, I love you twice this. And he says, I love you 10 times that. And she says, I love you 1,000 times this. That's in the puppy love conversation, right? But here it says, Taschascha bharta dvigunam hridaye parivartita. In her heart, that love for him was doubling. Whatever love she had for him, it was doubling for her. I will send you the slokas right now. I just saw someone's text. The diacritics are messed up. Then the next line she says is, Antarjatmapi vyaktam akhyati hridayam hrida. Antarjatmapi. Whatever desires are arousing in their hearts or in their minds, they never speak it. Vyaktam akhyati hridayam. They convey to each other in their hearts. Very fascinating love. So one way of expressing one's desires of affection and love for another is to physically show it. That's wonderful. But there is more refined way of showing it. Then instead of physically showing it, a person verbalizes it. Even more refined, which we find in Bhagavatam, that when Krishna returns, Rukmini and all the queens come and they send their sons ahead, but in their eyes they are communicating to Lord Krishna. They are embracing Krishna with their eyes, it said. So the next or more refined way of conveying is through the eyes. But here it's even deeper, not even necessarily with the eyes, just in their hearts are talking to each other. Antarjatmapi vyaktam akhyati hridayam hrida. Their hearts are conveying to each other. That is the kind of amazing love and affection Sita and Ramachandra are exchanging. I'll send you these verses. I think Shamkund already sent. I'll send again, or he can send. And some of you have asked me for more verses. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to request my dear god sister Jyotirmayi, if she can put to music a couple of these verses and share them with us, so that if you like to hear them, they are part of the musical meditation for us. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. I would love to do that.
With that, I leave you to meditate on these beautiful, loving exchanges between Sita Devi and Ramachandra, within whose shelter we find great solace, happiness, freedom from worry and anxiety. And meditating on these wonderful qualities, we too try a little bit to enrich our own lives with how we interact with each other, with other beings and other little humans and non-humans, moving and non-moving entities in this world. We make a small attempt to enrich and make our lives also valuable and meaningful. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I wish you a very, very joyous anticipation of Sri Ram Navami, and meet you again very soon. Hare Krishna.
Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.